Hey guys, Jem here with another book review. This time I'm going to be reviewing The School of Good and Evil by Soman Chainani. Don't know how to say last name, I'm sorry. I really like this book. I just finished it. And I rate it an 8.5 out of 10. I know it's like a middle school level book, but I don't know. I just want a good fairy tale once in a while, something just to relax and kick back with. Something to remind me of my terrible childhood. How about that? Anyway, I really like this book. And the sequel is coming out in next month, I believe. And I want to read that so badly. But anyway, back to the book. I'm sorry. I might say spoilers. But I'm not sure yet. Anyway, on to the synopsis before I get into this. This year, best friends Sophie and Agatha will discover what it is to be a student at the fabled School for Good and Evil, where ordinary boys and girls are trained to be fairy tale heroes and villains. With her pink dresses, glass slippers, and devotion to good deeds, Sophie knows she'll earn top marks at the School for Good and graduate a storybook princess. Meanwhile, Agatha, with her shapeless black frocks, wicked pet cat, and dislike of nearly everyone, she seems a natural fit for the School for Evil. But when the girls are swept into the endless woods, they find their fortunes reversed. Sophie's dumped in the School for Evil to take uglification, death curses, and henchman training, while Agatha finds herself in the School for Good among handsome princes and fair maidens in princess etiquette and animal communication. But what if the mistake is actually the first clue to discovering who Sophie and Agatha really are? The School for Good and Evil is an epic journey into a dazzling new world where the only way out of a fairy tale is to live through one. Anyway, this book I really liked it. It was really good. It has like these little cute illustrations in the beginning of each chapter of like one scene in the chapter. So it's like, I don't know, I really liked it, even though it's like for young readers. I liked it. Also, again, an 8.5 out of 10. But Agatha and Sophie are from the town of Gavaldon. And they get taken away by this man called the schoolmaster, who is in charge of the school for good and evil. So he takes them away from Gavaldon to go to like the fairy tale world, where Agatha and Sophie are known as readers, people who don't live in fairy tales, who live like normal lives like we do. And then the fairy tale world is separate from their own. And so they have to go to school to become a fairy tale villain or princess or prince, those kind of things. And things start to take a turn for the worst in some cases. Because in the book, I got like really frustrated in the beginning because of, I don't know, I just got really frustrated with Sophie and Agatha and like, for some reason. And Sophie gets put in the School for Evil, and Agatha gets put in the School for Good. As you can see in this cover, oh my god, this is terrible. In this cover, you see Agatha here is in the good school, while Sophie here is in the bad school. It's just, strange and unexpected, And so, while they try to switch schools. At first they try to switch schools, but then they know that's not going to work. And then both of them just want to go home again. And so they try, and then Sophie just wants to stay again. And then it just starts all this drama. And then there's a war, too. Oh my god. And so everything just becomes really, really complicated. Them trying to get home, but then then Sophie ends up not wanting to go home anymore because she has her prince. And then it just becomes really irritating and infuriating with the characters sometimes. And then in the end, they find out that there's this one thing that What is something that a villain can't have, but a princess can't live without? And it's love, like true love's kiss and all that happiness. Because the good, they call themselves Evers, and the evil, the students of evil call themselves Nevers. Evers and Nevers. How about that? And the Evers, they always are like in love with somebody. And Nevers are always alone. So it's like that was the key thing in this entire book. And then it's like to be able to go home, they had to have evil had to have true love's kiss, and Sophie had to have true love's kiss. And then in the end of the book, I think they went home. I'm pretty sure it's implied that they went home, but it just like kind of leaves off in a cliffhanger because there's a sequel coming, you know? And in the end, Sophie's dying, and Agatha, with Sophie in her arms, you know, kisses her. I'm like, whoa, did not see that one coming. And Sophie's like, I love you, as her dying words. And I'm like, hold up. When did this become an LGBTQ? And like, cause they're like 12, around like, they're about to hit puberty. Or they've already hit puberty. And I'm like, okay then, I did not know this was gonna happen. I was kind of confused. Because throughout the book, Sophie's raging about boys, especially this guy who's King Arthur's son, named Tedros. And then Agatha just hates boys. And then she starts falling for Tedros. And then it's like, they love each other? I'm like, so what? So they kiss and then end up going home, I believe. Because it really says here that they kiss. I was like, when did this become LGBTQ? When was this categorized as LGBTQ? I was so confused. It was like, Agatha. Sophie exhaled her last breath. I love you. Wait! Agatha screamed. Sobbing, shaking, Agatha kissed Sophie's cold lips. I'm like, whoa, what? It's not like I'm revolted. Like, I actually am a part of the GSA at my high school, the Gay Straight Alliance, and I'm just like, I was just confused on when did they like love each other in that sense. I was just confused on that part, because throughout the book it's like they're just best friends. It didn't really hint too much that they loved each other that way, you know? So I was like confused. I was really confused. I'm sorry about this. But that's all I really have to say, because apparently they just disappeared, like, you know, faded. And there's a sequel coming out, so I'm hoping to read that. I want to read that. It's just, oh my god, this book. So, that's all I have to say. Again, 8.5 out of 10. Great fairy tale. I really liked it. I did. And then it mentioned fairy tales I didn't know ever existed, so I'm like, hey, I learned something new. But anyway, the next book I'm going to read is The Girl in the Steel Corset from the Steampunk Chronicles, the first one, by Katie Cross. I've heard good things about the book. Plus, it's like, what, Victorian era, England, 1897. It sounds good. I don't know. So I'm going to be reading this next, and hopefully my friend will be giving me this book called Spooky Girl that she read, and she liked it. It's like, because my friend likes supernatural things, and I just like anything that's interesting to me. So I'm hoping to get that from her once she's renewed it from the library. I hope she did. Anyway, that's all I have to say. It's half an hour to midnight, so, and I'm dead tired. So I guess I'll see you guys later.